Good evening, I'm Cynthia Arthur. You're watching news at 10. The number of COVID-19 cases spiked back up with 561 new cases recorded today. According to Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, it is the second highest in Malaysia since the start of the outbreak. He added that 553 of them are locally transmitted cases. He said 5 new COVID-19 clusters have also emerged in Malaysia, bringing the total number of active clusters nationwide to 59. He said 3 of the new clusters were reported in Sabah and 1 each in Selangor and Labuan. The new clusters collectively have 94 active cases between them. The Health Director General also said that Sabah once again logged the highest number of cases with 488 new infections.
Daripada 553 kes penularan di dalam negara, 494 kes adalah warga negara Malaysia dan 59 kes adalah bukan warga negara. Daripada 553 kes penularan di dalam negara, 11 kes pula merupakan pengunjung yang pulang dari negeri Sabah, sekaligus menjadikan jumlah kes dilaporkan mempunyai sejarah perjalanan ke Sabah sejak 20 September 2020 adalah sebanyak 353 kes.
The country's total number of infections is now at 15,657 cases, with 4,587 active cases. 2 deaths were reported over 24 hours as of this noon, taking the death toll up to 157. There were also 133 recoveries today, bringing the cumulative number of recovered cases to 10,913. Following the increasing number of COVID-19 cases, the Ministry of Health, MOH, has designated the Kota Marudu Hospital in Sabah to treat cases in the state. Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham, through his Facebook, said this brings the total number of hospitals treating COVID-19 cases in Sabah to 7. He said these hospitals, with a capacity of 946 beds, are designated to handle cases that require intensive care, which are category 3 to 5 in Sabah. MOH has also identified 6 more COVID-19 low-risk quarantine and treatment centers, PKRC, in the state to treat patients with mild or no symptoms, or category 1 and 2 cases. Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham said all the 16 PKRC have the capacity of 3,876 beds, bringing the total number to 4,822 beds compared to 2,596 beds previously. For the past 5 days, Sabah recorded over 200 cases daily, with the highest recorded today at 488 cases. In a related development, the Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the Malaysian Armed Forces, MAF, are planning to build a field hospital in Tawau. This is to further increase the preparation of hospitals in the Sabah East Coast. Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham also explained that this can free up spaces for Hospital Tawau to treat COVID-19 category 3 to 5 cases. The Health Director General said the field hospital is expected to contain 100 beds in its early stages. Non-COVID-19 patients seeking treatment in obstetrics and gynecology, pediatrics and general surgery will also be treated at this field hospital. Taman Khazanah Indah and PPR Mutiara Kasih in Lahad Datu, Sabah are to be placed under Enforced Movement Control Order, EMCO. A conditional movement control order, CMCO, will also be imposed on the Kota Belud district. All movement control orders will come into effect starting at 12:01 a.m. at midnight on 13th of October until the 26th of October. According to Senior Minister for Security, Dato' Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, the EMCO will affect over 5,000 residents.
Semua penduduk di kawasan terlibat tidak dibenarkan keluar daripada rumah masing-masing. Semua laluan keluar masuk kawasan PKPD ditutup. Walau bagaimanapun, bagi kes-kes kecemasan seperti kematian, sakit dan sebagainya, mereka boleh mengemukakan permohonan kepada PDRM untuk keluar daripada kawasan PKPD untuk tujuan perubatan dan kes-kes kematian tadi.
The senior minister added that all residents will also undergo large-scale screening. As for the CMCO in Kota Belud, he said only essential service sectors are allowed to operate. Food premises and restaurants are also allowed to operate only via drive-through, delivery or takeaway. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said 674 individuals were arrested yesterday for flouting the Recovery Movement Control Order RMCO protocols. 583 of them were issued compounds, while 91 others were remanded. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said common offences include not wearing face masks, engaging in nightclub activities, failure to practice proper physical distancing, and failure to provide entry and exit logs. Furthermore, the senior minister said Op Benteng saw the arrest of 23 illegal immigrants. He added that one boat and one heavy land vehicle were also seized. Over in Pulau Pinang, 34 men and 8 women were arrested for participating in a wild party at a rented luxury bungalow in Batu Ferringhi, Pulau Pinang last night. All of them, aged between 20 and 40 years old, were also compounded for violation of Recovery Movement Control Order RMCO protocols. According to Timor Laut Police Chief ACP Sofian Santong, police found ketamine and various alcoholic drinks during the raid, which took place at 11:30 p.m. Urine tests were also found, 4 of them positive for drugs and 17 others having previous records related to crime and drugs. He added that the Pulau Pinang City Council, which also took part in the operation, issued a compound to the owner of the bungalow for conducting unlicensed homestay services. Meanwhile, 76 other visitors of an entertainment centre at Jalan Dr. Lim Chiu Leong were also compounded 1,000 ringgit for breaching RMCO standard operating procedures. ACP Sofian also said that a 21-year-old man believed to be the manager of an entertainment centre was also arrested for operating without a valid licence. All schools in the COVID-19 red zone in Petaling district are ordered to close. According to the Education Ministry, the schools will be closed from tomorrow onwards until the 25th of October. The ministry in a statement today said the decision involves 298 schools in the district, including primary, secondary and private schools registered under the ministry, as well as schools with hostels and vocational colleges. The ministry also urged parents to fetch their children from hostels to return home. It added that those who are waiting for their parents or who wish to remain in the school hostels and vocational colleges during the period of school closure will be under the care of the hostel warden. The ministry also said that affected schools that are currently conducting Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia trial exams can reschedule the exams to a later date. For a full list of schools, visit the Education Ministry website at www.moe.gov.my. In Kedah, 4 schools were ordered closed after there were teachers and students diagnosed with COVID-19. All 4 affected schools were closed for 7 days starting today until the 17th of October. Deputy Director of Kedah Department of Education, Ismail Othman, in a statement explained that the affected schools are Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan, SMK Bukit Payong and Sekolah Kebangsaan SK Bukit Pak Kiau in the Kota Setar district. The 2 other schools affected are SMK Baling and SMK Bogor in the Baling district. The schools were closed in order to facilitate screening processes and sanitation operations. Meanwhile, all students, teachers and others affected are required to undergo home quarantine and adhere to all specified SOPs. Kuala Lumpur and Beijing are to hold talks regarding the development of COVID-19 vaccine by the Great Walled Country. A dialogue session will be held during a 2-day official visit by the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi starting tomorrow. Wisma Putra in a statement informed that Wang Yi will be welcomed by his Malaysian counterpart, Datuk Seri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein. During the visit, Datuk Seri Hishamuddin and Wang Yi will discuss the status of China's COVID-19 vaccine, enhancing economic cooperation, post-pandemic collaborations, and strengthening existing ties and cooperative efforts between the two countries. They are also expected to discuss regional and global issues of common concern. According to the statement, the visit will be conducted in full compliance with the health and safety measures set by the MOH and in accordance with the SOPs approved by the Special Ministerial Meeting on the Movement Control Order. Coming up, police arrest driver in connection with fatal accident in Johor Bahru. An illegal scheduled toxic and hazardous waste dumping site in Tanjung Kling was raided and sealed off by the Melaka Department of Environment, DOE. The raid was conducted following tip-offs from members of the public in nearby areas. The DOE team raided the area in an integrated joint operation with the police, the Fire and Rescue Department's Hazardous Material Hazmat Team, Melaka Historic City Council (MBSB), and the State Water Regulatory Body (BKSA). According to the DOE Director General Norlin Jaafar, investigations revealed more than 900 barrels, 6 intermediate bulk containers, 7 contaminated barrels, and 5 oil storage tanks suspected to contain oil sludge. She further explained the toxic waste found was scheduled sludge waste or oil suspected from oil refineries. Samples of the waste were taken and sent to the Department of Chemistry for analysis and identification of its characteristics and composition. Meanwhile, drones were deployed to monitor air quality and to ensure the safety around and in the area. The premises was ordered to undergo cleaning and proper waste disposal after investigations are concluded. A 23-year-old woman believed to be the cause of a fatal accident at Kilometre 4 of the Jalan Johor Bahru, Kota Tinggi yesterday was arrested by police at 9 a.m. today. According to Johor Police Chief Dato' Ayub Khan Maidin Piche, the incident occurred at the traffic light junction heading to Plaza Pelangi, Johor Bahru. Dato' Ayub said the suspect also tested positive for drugs, adding that the car used by the suspect belongs to her fiancé.
Pemandu yang terlibat itu seorang wanita berusia 23 tahun. Lesen tak ada, road tag dah mati. Setakat ni positif. Positif ada. Kalau tuan-tuan tengok video tu memang jelas lah. Tak ada kereta depan tu pun. Dia memang laju, langgar traffic light lah.
Dato' Ayub said early investigations revealed that the suspect had lost control of her car before hitting the road divider. The suspect's car then collided with 2 other cars. The accident caused the death of a 31-year-old man who sustained serious head injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. The case is being investigated under Section 41, Subsection 1 of the Road Transport Act 1987 for reckless driving resulting in death and Section 15, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. The Kedah Fire and Rescue Department, JBPM, are undergoing preparations to face the shifting of the northern eastern monsoon winds beginning this month, and it is expected to last until November. Heavy rains by the monsoon shift is expected to cause flooding in low areas and red zones identified as high-risk areas every year. Its director, Sayani Saidon, said apparatus and vehicles to assist evacuation, especially boats, are constantly tested to ensure the assets can be used when they are needed.
kita Jabatan Bomba melakukan persediaan dari segi persediaan kelengkapan kita punya fasiliti kita, dari segi bot marine kita dan juga kenderaan kita yang lain sebagai kita punya senjata utama lah dalam menghadapi kemungkinan banjir, mungkin banjir berlaku, terutamanya di kawasan-kawasan zon merah yang kita kenal pasti sebagai kawasan-kawasan yang kerap dinaiki air sekiranya berlaku pertambahan jumlah hujan yang banyak.
80% of personnel were maintained, along with the teams from the Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association to help move residents to evacuation centres in case of floods. Meanwhile, 43 aluminium boats and lorries are ready to be mobilised at any time. Champions Johor Darul Tazim JDT ended the season unbeaten when they notched their 9th win by thrashing Melaka 5-0 at Stadium Hang Jebat last night. 2 of the goals were scored by JDT's import player Leandro Velasquez. JDT's Argentinian import Velasquez converted a penalty in the 70th minute to start the goal rush. 4 minutes later, Muhammad Shafiq Ahmad scored the second goal by beating the offside trap before Muhammad Aidil Zafwan Abdul Razak headed in the visitors' third goal in the 79th minute. With the clock ticking towards the end of the match, Melaka conceded 2 goals within 8 minutes when Fernando Rodriguez found the net in the 85th minute and Gonzalo Cabrera wrapped up a glorious night for the champions with another goal in the final minutes. Meanwhile, Melaka head coach Zainal Abidin Hassan said he was disappointed with the last night's game. However, Zainal is still proud of his boys as they succeeded in putting up a good defense performance during the first half of the match. Regardless of the game, JDT lived up to their billings when they defended their Super League title for the 7th consecutive time after winning every game this season. Speaking at a press conference after the match, JDT's coach Benjamin Mora said even without their star player Safawi Rashid, JDT can still give their best performance in the upcoming Malaysia Cup. Mora said although the team misses their top striker, but he believed it is a huge chance for other players to get involved in preparations for the Malaysia Cup campaign. What is important for the club now, Mora said, is that they have to play together as a collective team, adding that he needs to see how many days they have to plan and train to get there.
We're going to manage to do a plan. For sure, we want to give game time to different players that haven't had a lot of game time. That is part of JDT's philosophy, to rotate the players and to give the confidence to some of the players that haven't been able to play because you know the importance of the league. Also, the Malaysian Cup is very important.
Kelantan United KUFC coach Nazrul Irwan Makmur said all he wanted from his team was to win their final Premier League match against Selangor 2 at the Sultan Muhammad IV Stadium in Kota Bharu last Friday. However, Nazrul Irwan said he did not expect that it would qualify for the Malaysia Cup competition as well. When met by reporters in Kota Bharu today, Nazrul Irwan said before the match, KUFC's chances of making it to the Malaysia Cup were very slim and dependent on the outcomes of other matches. He added that qualifying for the Malaysia Cup is KUFC's best achievement this season and they will take the fight to the other teams who are much stronger than them. KUFC edged Selangor 2-1 with their goals contributed by Muhammad Sharul Hakim Rahim and Al-Fusine Gassama, while Ahmad Daniel Ahmad Asri scored for the opponents. KUFC joined elder brother Kelantan FC, who play in the same league, to the Malaysia Cup competition. Kelantan FC had beaten Johor Darul Tazim 2 at the Larkin Stadium also last Friday. That concludes this evening's news at 10. In our top story, Malaysia records 561 new COVID-19 cases today, second highest on record. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Cynthia Arthur. Stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM and have a pleasant evening.